The sun-drenched beaches of California, paradise on earth. But when danger lurks and the tide turns against you, you need a man who can fill the trunks of a hero. Meet Notch Johnson in Son of the Beach.
That looks great. Well, Kimberly, I've got a Woody. You ride with me.
Wherever there is big trouble, Notch Johnson is there. Along with his small but trusted unit.
It may not be the biggest, but it's the best.
Kimberly
That's
Clark,
the dirtiest
Jamaica
joke's ever been on this
Jet
show.
And BJ Cummings.
Is that short
It
for
was the
Bobby
cleanest
Joe?
joke
No,
ever
it's a
on Son of the
nickname.
Beach.
I got it from the men's volleyball team.
From Howard Stern Productions.
Son of the Beach premieres Tuesday at 10:30 on FX.
All right. A little memory there. Ride the big one with talking with George Verschoor, who directed the pilot and subsequent episodes. The one with Alan Thicke, which was a great episode.
Oh, yeah.
He was such a good guy, just great with the jokes. So, George, we mentioned earlier, I believe it was Lisa Berger and Lou Wallach who brought you to us. And we didn't, we were looking for directors and had been recommended some. And then we watched Austin Stories and then really liked them and then met with you and you got the job. Is this all coming? Is any of this coming back?
Yeah. No, Lisa and I worked together at MTV for years on The Real World and then Austin Stories and a bunch of other shows. So yeah, thank you, Lisa, for the suggestion.
She was a great executive. She was, you mentioned Doug Herzog earlier too. Like they were really good executives.
Yeah, they were just having fun. They were young and having fun and taking chances, and they could call the shots. They could say if they wanted to do it, they just do it.
Right.
Let's just do this,
She went to bat for us at Son of the Beach because Jeremiah Bosgang, if you remember him.
Yes, yeah.
The only other Jeremiah I know, the other Jeremiah produces this show. But Jeremiah Bosgang was the executive, and he's really the one who got it through at FX. And then they let him go. And they brought in another executive. I think this would be after you had moved on to Real Jobs. And we got into this big argument with the new executive. And Lisa Berger, so many times executives were like, whatever the network says, whatever. And she just stood up to him and shut him down. And anyway, she was great.
Yeah. No, and I remember coming in it was a dream come true because I was such a fan of, like Police Squad and Airplane and, like Naked Gun and all of these just dumb boy humor. Like, at heart, I'm like a 10-year-old kid from upstate New York, just giggling and laughing with my buddies. And then there are you guys, you and Jim and Dave.
We're old and still doing it.
Yeah. It was like my dirty uncles
That's exactly right.
You guys
should have been the name of our punk band, the Dirty Uncles.
Dirty Uncles, yeah. But no, I remember just thinking, I can't believe I'm gonna get paid to do this. This is so fun. I mean, we're just gonna laugh all day. And you guys did a great job. Those scripts were really funny and just tight. And we had a great production team.
Yeah. It was amazing. And I know you'll remember this, but every day, part of why you were hired too is because you had come out of the world of low budget. Like you understood, we're not shooting a page a day here. We're shooting 10 pages a day.
Yeah, that's right. I had done Undressed at MTV was another title that I did, which was a teen soap opera. It was a scripted soap opera. And we'd shoot like literally 15 pages a day. We'd shoot, and for people who don't know what that means, you're basically shooting like 10 times or 15 times what Kevin Costner shoots in a day.
Yeah.
You just go. And, you guys were on a lower budget, but I'd say, you got so much value out of it because it was all on the beach. It was daytime exteriors. We didn't have a lot of lighting.
No, we shot, if you remember, in the winter. Where we
I remember
it's really cold out there in the winter.
Very cold. And I remember
always felt so bad for the women.
We shot the pilot right down in the Palisades there at Will Rogers State Beach in Santa Monica, right between Santa Monica and Malibu. And it was October or something, like October, November. I remember Howard Stern came out and he was shooting with us, and he was on set, and we said to the girls, like, you got to get in the water now because we got somebody's drowning and we got to make a rescue. And I think the water temperature was like maybe 59, 60 if it was a warm day.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the poor girls.
So
they would just hit the water and just scream. And
you know, I never went in the water on that show till the last day of shooting. It was the very last day. I had to dive in. I finally had to dive off a boat.
Yeah.
Lee Majors was in the boat. But
but I think some of the humor, I'm not sure we could get away with it today.
None of it. Not even the titles. You couldn't even do that. None of it.
None of it.
I was remembering on the ride here today about like that first day, and I remember, first of all, you were great because you were also calm, and we were all so nervous, and I could tell the minute Howard arrived, because he came out for the filming of the pilot, and he was great. He was really involved and had great thoughts and all that. But I remember there was a look on his face when you get to the beach in the morning, you know, when you got a 6:30 crew call or whatever it is, and there are trucks out there and cameras being unloaded. And suddenly there was this look on his face of, oh my, what have I gotten myself into? Because he's Howard Stern and he's got a brand and all that. Like, you're not supposed to fail. And there's a guy who really doesn't want to fail.
No. And you know, that in that time, I forget exactly when, but he was he still is. He's an enormous personality and star in this country. And at that time, you know, he'd done a few films and this was his first jump into TV. So yeah, a lot of pressure, but I'll tell you, I was scared, I was scared, put it that way. 'Cause, you know, big show, big crew, my shot to, get this right. But he could not have been nicer. He was so nice and respectful. And, he'd say, maybe you want to get another take. Cause he would sit behind me, we were directing you guys in the cast, and I'd kind of look back to him and see if he was laughing, and he'd give me the thumbs up or just say, hey, why don't we do one more? If that's okay with you. Yeah. But he was so cool and just, he was good. Real business. And, I
don't know how he used to call me, like, this was, before texting and all that, but I had a cell phone. And he would call me, and like he had done his radio show all day, 5 days a week then, and 5 hours a day. And then he would call me and he'd say, like, hey, Tim, I'm looking at the dailies and I'm wondering about this scene. And I'm thinking, I don't watch the dailies. I don't have time. How does this guy have time? And we would always try to go back and reshoot something or anyway.
Yeah. What did you ever talk to him about being in the show? That's what I was always curious.
I think we might have met. It was absolutely not going to happen. We had so many people from the show, like Beetlejuice and Baba Booey and other people who did little cameos. But no, I don't think he ever wanted to. I think we made a couple of references, and there was an episode called I'll take a chance and say it. You might have directed. I can't remember. Queefer Madness. It was a spoof of
with Mark Hamill.
No, with David Arquette when they were little.
Oh no, that wasn't me.
Spoof of the Wild One, where they instead of riding in on motorcycles, they were on BMX bikes.
No, I don't think I don't think I did that. I did the one with Mark Hamill though, where he was the cult leader. He was the cult leader. With the muffins, something about, some kind of muffins.
There might have been a muffin joke in there.
Yeah, there was a muffin joke somewhere. But no, that was so much fun. I mean, just laughing all day long. And there was that one scene where, you were tied up. The bad guys had tied you and Kimberly Clark up.
Yes.
I guess I can't tell this joke on air.
I don't think you can.
But I remember you didn't have the joke and we were standing there, and that was the best thing is we'd all go, geez, we need an out here. We need a punchline. And you just sort of look for a second and go, okay, I think I got something. Roll camera. And and the whole crew would crack. Something would come out of your mouth and we'd all just crack up for, or half the time we were laughing so hard, we'd have to stop because, we'd have to clear the set because people were laughing too much.
Yeah, and the table reads were always funny, and it was great. FX, we caught them at a great time. Nobody knew of them, and That was a
Yeah.
very smart move on Peter Ligori's part, getting in business with Howard. Howard sort of brought them and us to the forefront. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Where does that show run now?
maybe in, I have no idea, somewhere where there's, like they just got television or something.
Yeah. Maybe it's at the the Television Academy or something. It's probably right at the top of the list with Hill Street Blues and
It will never show its face. I don't think. It's just too many jokes that, and people talk about it. Mel Brooks, you see him now interviewed, like comedy's dead. It's not, you can't do jokes anymore.
yeah.
And that's certainly true. On the other hand, like I get it. Like,
Yeah.
maybe we were poking fun at the wrong things, and so somewhere they'll work out a balance in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I think it is just sort of a snapshot of a period in time, and people have kind of moved on from that,
But our mission really was push the envelope, as you said with MTV, was just like, make some noise here, do something here,
yeah,
and it
Yeah.
worked.
yeah, no, it was fun, and I think you look at like Mel Brooks and Blazing Saddles and a lot of those things now. You go back and look, and it's some of it you're cringing at some of it, but you understood those were the times, and those were the
That's where the jokes being done at the time.
And I do think comedy, and this, that you got to push the envelope. You look back at, lots of comedy was the first to sort of open the door to the conversation, right?
I mean, couldn't agree more.
I mean, you got to kick the door down and have because comedy would say the stuff people were too afraid to say.
Yes.
But then once you did, it's like listen to Chappelle now. I saw his show recently.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, or Ricky Gervais and those guys.
It's Shane Gillis. He rides the line between like woke and Fox News, but he does a great job of it. It's really fun.
Yeah, and I think the comedians can say the stuff we can't, and I hope they still have the license to do that, because it's in terms of free speech and all that, that's, to me, free speech has to apply to comedians first. They gotta be able to tell the jokes.
Remember, it starts there. That's a good note to end on, George. Thank you so much for doing this. It was really fun.
Thank you, Tim.
Walking down memory lane, but also just a great career. And a lot of these shows, I know the travel show is on Netflix still, and
Yes.
and a bunch of other stuff is out there. Just beautiful work over the years.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no,
to do it.
Instant Dream Home is on Netflix that I did, and World's Most Amazing Vacation Rentals, and we have a couple of new shows that we're working on now. So more to come. I'm still having fun. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you this week about other stuff. And thank you, Dr. D, engineer, and Jeremiah, who's not here. And we'll see you next time on It's Radio with TV's Tim Stack.